question. And I'm Robert Seebeck. I'm with Kingspan Installation and I'm the Technical Specifications Manager. Yeah, the key thing, particularly for 7-star natters as we track through into NCC 2022, the key things are going to be that the builders really consult with their ESD or energy raters together with their certifiers to find out exactly what needs to be done in their various projects. I think that's going to be critical. And then to connect with their suppliers' technical teams to discern what's going to be best fit for their particular type of build to match the requirements of both the NCC and the energy rated requirements. Some of our builders have come to us and have known what a rigid board is. Others haven't, so they've typically been using bats, so whether they be glass wool bats or mineral wool bats or polyester. But the rigid board is a little bit probably newer in the class 1 environment. So typically a rigid board can be either a thermoplastic or in our case a thermoset material which has far higher fire and smoke compliance requirements. So the rigid board in our case is a phenolic rigid board, and that term simply means the type of chemistry that it is. So it is a thermoset board, very high tolerances to fire, and it does perform very well both obviously thermally and in fire compliance requirements. So you're roughly going to have about half the amount of board requirement thickness wise compared to maybe glass wool or rock wool bats. So in the bat cavity, sorry to answer that part, but the bat cavity side, when you install this particular rigid board in the cavity, so between the stud work, we do manufacture the boards to either the 600 stud work or 450 stud work to fit in, but obviously you're going to friction fit it. So unlike bats, it will be a little bit different to fit our rigid board bat, but that'll just become a part of the makeup of what people do and how they install. So people will get used to a different style of, let's call it bat, a rigid bat, and in some cases, in some areas of a build, you may have to still use glass wool bats or the like for various areas where there's lots of services and such in a cavity wall. We can install the rigid board as a continuous installation now. From a thermal perspective, that does minimise thermal bridging, so that's a big plus in that. But for areas, particularly let's say Victoria, it will become part of, particularly if you've got a glass wool bat in the cavity, which is now called the primary insulation layer. It gets a little bit confusing, but your energy rater and your certifier will be able to assist you with this. But you can install the rigid bat as a continuous layer on the external side, but it does become part of a performance solution. So hence your certifier and your energy rater will become part of that process to help you. So we've done certain WUFI analysis, which is hygrothermal analysis, to show that the board on various types of build-ups can be used as a continuous layer on the outside without any condensation risk issues. In order to have the brickwork and the cavity, there still needs to be a cavity, particularly if we're using a pliable membrane as part of the build-up. So the NCC does call that up, so you're going to have a minimum of either 25mm for a timber frame, for example, or a steel frame to your brickwork, to the inside edge of your brickwork, or a 35mm if it's a masonry or double cavity type of masonry build-up. So yes, we'll need that, and the maximum tolerance will be minimum 35mm, maximum 75mm, so you've got to keep within those tolerances and have weepoles if it is a masonry. Okay, when it comes to K3 flooring board, which is what I'm holding up here, it's got tissue both sides of our cool therm board. So the important part of that is it does not go under the footings. Okay, it's not hasn't got the compressive strength to allow for that. So it is important that that's not done, and it is put simply under the raft slab only, not to footings. Okay, heat loss from edges is a good one, and it will have quite a significant impact to achieve 7-star natters by using what's called Green Guard. Now, the Green Guard is a very high tolerance to moisture board. It's an XPS, unlike our cool therm, which is a phenolic. So they are different types of rigid board materials. So that's a thermoset versus a thermoplastic. So the thermoplastic does have better moisture tolerances. So using that to the slab edge allows for achieving an R1, which is what's required in the NCC. So in order to fit that, which is probably the most often asked questions, how do we fit that? It's literally put up hard against the slab edge, vertically, to a depth of 300mm, and then it's secured by infill, pushing back the soil back against it to hold it in place against the slab edge. You can use a flashing over or you can use a fibre cement, or you can actually render it if it's a high enough above the slab edge and the ground to make a finished product. In terms of technical support, I think all builders should be really dovetailing in their construction with both, as I said, the energy raters that they're dealing with, the certifier that they're dealing with, and then the manufacturer's technical departments. Now, we have a very sophisticated technical team, and there is the number and email, I think it's there as well. But you can get hold of our technical support team, and they'll be able to assist with any type of project, whether it be on site, if you've got information or questions that you need on site, or whether it's during design. So we help with things like thermal performance computations, condensation risk analyses. So if you've got a wall, floor, roof build-up and you're concerned about either the thermal performance in that or the condensation risk, we can actually do a free condensation risk or a thermal performance analysis for you.